Hello, Santa Clarita and everyone listening in from around the world. You are right here at KHTS, your hometown station, and you are listening to the Grief Recovery Hour. My name is Sharon Brubaker with my co-host, Sandi Atmore. Hey, Sandi.
Hi there.
We are advanced certified grief recovery specialists, and we love spending this hour with
Yeah.
you. Isn't it cool?
It's awesome. I love being here.
And we get to talk about our favorite subject,
I know.
which is sad to some people, but amazing for us
Yeah.
because we have answers for people,
Yes.
which is so cool. Hey, if you're listening to this program, there's a huge probability that your heart may be broken. It could be from grief, either recent or long ago, or from the breakup of a romantic relationship, or from pet loss, or from just not feeling as happy or fulfilled as you think you should be. Regardless of the cause of your broken heart, Sandi and I are not here to tell you how you feel. At best, we can tell you we know what it felt like when our broken hearts occurred, and it was not good.
Exactly.
So we thought we would talk through a little bit about what grief is, but really just touch on the holidays.
Yes.
I know we got through Thanksgiving, right? So I had a lot of clients that I was like giving them tips on what to do and kind of setting them up. But even did the show on this last week, but I just thought it would be so cool if you and I got in together and just talked about it because
Absolutely.
it's the first of everything. It's the first birthday after someone passes, the first Christmas, the first Thanksgiving, the first anniversary. Sometimes it's the first time of going to the grocery store without them, or whatever it is. It's always a first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And experiencing that for the first time with a broken heart is yucky.
It really is. And I really love that we're talking about this even after Thanksgiving, because I think for a lot of people, they go to the Thanksgiving holiday and they're with family. Some people have grew up in an abusive home, and being around family doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And so now here we are after Thanksgiving, heading into Christmas, heading into New Year's. And for a lot of people, this is a very difficult time of year.
Right. Right. And a lot of them aren't even suffering from a death.
True.
Sometimes it's just a hard time of year that they just push back against.
Well, yeah, I find that for a lot of people, when we get to this time of year and we're coming into the end of the year, I think, when people feel like, I haven't achieved the things I thought I would achieve by now. I don't have the relationship I thought I would have by now. I don't have the things that I thought I would. I'm not where I thought I would be. I think it becomes more apparent this time of year. And so for a lot of people, that's something that they're grieving.
And just having to show up, like you said, at the family gathering, and we're all supposed to be so happy, but sometimes we're the miserable one in the room. We're the sad person in the room, but we don't feel that that's a safe place to share it, or that's not the time to share.
Yeah.
So we go in just pushing back against it. Mm-hmm. One of the things I shared last week that I think is so important is to go into the holiday with a plan.
Yes.
Totally have a plan, even if it's something simple. Don't you think something like that could just really change the whole outlook on the day?
Oh, I so agree with you. I think having a plan and not having those expectations that I have to be happy, that I have to be joyful. I think for so many people, not only are they feeling those things, but then there's this contrast between, I always say the K Jeweler commercials that always have the perfect family and everybody's happy and they're so romantic.
Those people,
the Joneses, yes. And it's just, I think when you see those commercials, for a lot of people, that feels discouraging.
Yeah.
And, I would even say there are people out there that may be listening to this program and they may be saying, you know what, I actually like the holidays, but I would almost guarantee that somebody who doesn't.
Yes.
I feel like it's common knowledge that the holidays are difficult.
Yeah.
And so, yes, either for the person who is experiencing this during the holidays to have a plan, but even for the person who's not, just to be able to understand this for people that are having a hard time, I think is really important.
I agree with you 100%. I often tell my clients, and I think this is really cool, that they need to be very clear on what they want.
Yeah.
But they need to be equally clear on what they don't want.
Yes.
And you need to share it with your family. And I always call the family the supporting staff at this time and supporting members that are holding you up. But the supporting staff and members and family and friends also need to allow you your space. If you say you don't want to do what we've done for the last 20 years, they
Yeah.
need to be okay with not going to the parade or not going to look at the Christmas lights. They need to be okay with that. Sometimes we have the issue comes up from that part where
Oh,
they're like,
yes.
but we've always gone to look at the lights, but you may just not be feeling it. So it'd be really cool if people would understand that. So, Sandi, I had a gentleman, his wife just passed away, and I was just speaking to him this week, and he absolutely doesn't want to put the Christmas tree up.
Right.
It was absolutely something that he would do with her every year, and it was her thing. And he absolutely doesn't want to put the tree up. And so I said that's okay. Do you realize that's okay? Sometimes just giving them that permission that they don't have to put it up is okay.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And it's honoring, I think, a lot of times. I think this is a time of year when we want to honor ourselves more.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I come up with the self-care. It's so cool to you have to have self-care during the holidays.
Yes.
You have to take care of number one because you can become sick or even more go deeper into your grief and start avoiding and that sort of stuff. So one of the things we talked about for him was that she has a smaller tree and that she would put it on the table behind the couch, that possibly he just set that one up.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about with the plan. So he decided not to do the big tree. He's just doing the smaller tree. And then he took it a step further and he went out and bought for her a little ornament in honor of this year, their first year
Wow.
not being together. And so he had it engraved and he's hanging it on that tree. And he's going to do the putting the tree up by himself in remembrance of her. But he's creating a new tradition for himself, which I think is amazing.
I do too. And I think speaking of self-care, I can kind of speak to people that, like I mentioned, have maybe grown up in an abusive home or, have a less than great experience with family members. And I know some of them have decided, you know what, this year I'm not going to go home. I'm not going to go to where that family of origin is for the holidays. It's too much for me.
Yeah.
I have some people that I know that feel safer and I feel closer to and feel more like family. And so this year I'm going to have Christmas with them or I'm going to have Thanksgiving with them. And I think that's a great plan too. We don't always have to be around people that may be toxic, or especially if we're in this place of discovering things that we're grieving. There's not, I think a lot of people feel like they have these have-tos, and self-care says, oh, you don't have to.
Yeah. How empowering it is to just making that decision that I'm not going around the family because they're too toxic.
Yep.
And what is so cool is that when we sit and share with them, and that's what we're trying to get across today, my friends, is that it's absolutely okay to not do what you've always done or to go be around the family, especially when it's too tough.
Yes, totally
Especially
agree.
when it's so hard. One of the things that you may consider if you do have to go by through the family for whatever reason is that you shake it up a little bit. Go in with a plan. I'm going to go at 1, but we're walking out at 3. Make sure everybody knows that that's what we're doing. We're going to sit down for dinner. I want to make sure dinner's ready. We sit, we eat, and then we're out of there. So that's again, going in with a plan.
Exactly. And sometimes for people, like you're saying, if they have to go and be around family, they are bringing somebody with them that can be a safe buffer, or they have it set up. Like you said, I'm going to be there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I already have a call planned with somebody that is safe for me, that I can talk to and that I can download with so that I can get heard
Yeah.
after being in that situation.
Or even just going for dessert.
Yes.
Not going for dinner, just showing up for dessert and just, what time are you serving dinner? 5. Okay, dessert around 7. I'll come for dessert and coffee, and just popping in and popping out. That way, if there are people you want to see, you still get a chance to see them. But again, it's absolutely okay to not show up. I have a lot of clients right now that are just dreading going through these next few weeks.
I know.
Just seeing up all the decorations and all the things that are supposed to be. And when I tell them to come up with a plan, I often share some crazy stories of some things that I've done. So my dad died on Thanksgiving,
Wow.
and it was 5 years ago. And so I invited, for some reason that year, the family was not together. We all ended up in different places the very first year after he had passed away. And so I invited a lot of friends over. So that was one of the things that I did. I made sure the house was full. One of the things that was so important, my dad loved Thanksgiving and I loved Thanksgiving, and we would cook together. And so one of the things that he always did is he baked a turkey every year, and we would beg him not to bake it, but he had to bake it every year because we liked fried turkey. And so on that very first year, I got up that day, and one, I wrote him a letter, just told him what I was doing. That helped a little bit. Two, I baked the turkey, which was a tradition now I've had for 5 years. I even baked my turkey this year.
Nice.
But the biggest thing that I did, and I have to get this video, my nephew's getting for me so I can put it online, is I planned a secret Nerf war. And I hid guns all over the house. And Sandi, I have to tell you, it was like the most boring Thanksgiving. It was like a violin was playing in the background. But when I picked that gun up and shot my nephew right in the head, and everyone started running for guns, it was something different. It was exciting, and it was unexpected. For 45 minutes, we ran around like crazy people and just had the best time ever. And that's where people, I think they need to go. They need to expand their ideas.
I totally agree. And, and I think, speaking of the holidays, I think it's important for people to realize that, there's so many different types of losses, right, that we can experience. And the holidays can really surface many of those. You know, I lost my little dog. My little dog died just in September. And, 13 years old. I've had him for 13 Thanksgivings. I've had him for 13 Christmases. And this is the first year that he's not there for Thanksgiving and he's not there for Christmas. And it's important, that I acknowledge that.
Yes.
It's important that I be okay, that feels sad. I'm sad that he's not with me. And, after he died, we did a memorial for him, and I read a letter to him, and that was beautiful. And that was really, really helpful. And, his picture's up in the house, but it's still fresh enough where when I walk in the door, it's hard that he's not coming to greet me. Even when he was old and couldn't see very well or hear very well, he knew when I came in the door.
Right.
And
he was your buddy.
He was my buddy. And, I come from a family that was abusive. So he was family to me when I didn't have family. I think it's really important that we recognize that the holidays bring up all of these things.
Yes.
All these things. We're talking about losses of abuse and death of a loved one. And we're talking about pet loss and, loss of career, loss of finances.
Yes.
All of those things that we can experience. There's something about the holiday season that brings them up more.
Yeah.
And statistically speaking, statistics say there's a 15% increase in people that seek treatment for either like emotional distress or that kind of thing during the holiday season. And I always say if there's a 15% increase in people seeking treatment, there's way more that actually experience it and don't report it or don't seek treatment.
Because even with that's so true what you're speaking of right now, but what about the people that just don't want to go anywhere? I mean, we're speaking to everyone to try to come up with a plan, but there's going to be a huge amount of us that just want to stay home and just don't have the energy to go, or are going to lock ourselves in and avoid. And so I want to send out good energy to all the people that are thinking that.
I agree.
Or feel that they don't have somewhere to go. Again, I'm telling you, just come up with a plan. Even the plan might be, I keep sticking on this, but I'm trying to throw out as many as I can, mixing up the dinner. If you've always had turkey and ham and mashed potatoes, maybe you don't do that this year.
Yeah.
Maybe you do something different. Yeah. Something as simple as that, Sandi, could make the most memorable holiday you've ever had, make it fun, and get everybody involved. I mean, what if you catered in, like, I'm just throwing this out here, but tamales or Mexican food or something fun? It would tilt the whole day. Everybody would get involved in it, and you could do a themed.
Yeah.
There's just so many areas that we can go in.
Yes. And I think the point that we're both really wanting to make here is that we're acknowledging that this is a difficult time of year. We're saying, yes, if you're feeling stressed or stuck or angry or sad, we validate you.
Yeah.
We validate that this is difficult. And we're talking about this because there is that pressure to feel happy or to feel joyful. And we're here to reach out to those that are not feeling that way, or maybe even empower people that are in touch with people who feel this way, on how to have a better holiday season by acknowledging that it is a time where grief really presents itself.
Absolutely. One of the things for me that happened years ago is that I personally decided that the holiday was becoming too materialistic. So I don't put up a tree or lights or anything like that. And we typically look for people that are in need, and we try to help them out. But now that I've done that and no one will come to my party with me, I start noticing how sad people are this time of year.
Yes.
How really on edge we are. How miserable we really are. Like, the traffic is worse. People are honking and yelling and screaming. And even in the grocery store, people are hitting you with their carts. And I'm going to the extreme, but there's really this heaviness that's at this time of year. And a lot of times it's because our hearts are absolutely broken. And when someone tells you, here's the time of year that you're supposed to be the happiest, and you're not feeling it, it brings all that up.
Oh, it so does.
Yeah, it brings all of that up. So let's talk about some of the losses that people can be experiencing. Now, the 40 known losses, right?
Sure.
So that we can make sure that people understand we're not just talking about grief. So we definitely have talked about divorce and pet loss.
Yes.
Your little baby.
My baby.
Losing a job, financial changes, having a non-typical child born into your family.
Yeah.
For me, I have my oldest granddaughter is severely autistic, and, that definitely was a loss for me.
Yeah.
Divorce, moving, multiple moves, right? Ending school. There's a lot of people that are going to be ending college this year, or people that are kids that are being bullied at school.
Yes.
Failing in school. People that are graduating and moving on to their careers. So all of those things, coupled with what's going on at this time of year, can bring it up. What about breaking up with a boyfriend?
Yes.
So tough.
Yes.
Not having a significant other at that time.
Or parents that are now empty nesters.
Yeah, absolutely.
That changes the whole landscape of the holidays.
Not for me, but it does for everybody
Yes.
else. They were like, well, yes. And it is true. It will. It definitely will. Especially if you're used to having a house full and you've got this big tree and you've always bought all these gifts and there's always noise in the house, and all of a sudden even just having your children go to their new in-laws home,
Yes.
and you not having your typical holiday,
Yes.
can cause a grieving experience.
Absolutely.
It's so crazy what little things can set us off, and that's where we have to acknowledge and we have to talk about it.
I so agree.
For sure. So what we're going to do is on the next break, we're going to go over some of our self-care things that we came up with that people can do to absolutely help them through the holidays, really giving them some other ideas. And I'm also going to share with you on the next segment what we did when Austin died for the very first Christmas. It kind of happened accidentally, but it ended up being this great experience that is our tradition now.
I love it.
So that's where so many amazing things can come out of just doing your self-care, just taking care of yourself and taking care of your heart. We're going to come back in a little bit. Right after the break, we're going to get into more self-care. We'll see you guys here right after the break. Thanks.
Santa Clarita Philharmonic has begun its season of free concerts. The SCP is a non-profit community-based volunteer symphony orchestra comprised of local musicians from throughout the Santa Clarita Valley who are dedicated to providing quality classical music for the residents of the Santa Clarita Valley. Like the Santa Clarita Philharmonic on Facebook or visit santaclaritaphilharmonic.org for more information.
Your building sign is essential in getting customers to your location. Feathers can help get your business noticed. They walk you through each phase of your building sign project, providing special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will give you a sign you can be proud of. Your building sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Feathers on Soledad in Canyon Country, across from the Edwards Theater. Or go to feathersphoto.com. That's feathersphoto.com.
It's time to plan our company party. Tables, chairs, lights, and a dance floor. So much to coordinate.
AV Party Rentals has everything you need for your company party. Visit their large and beautiful showroom in Newhall and discover how AV Party Rentals can create that extra accent for your company party. No worrying, no stress during setup because their delivery staff is friendly, efficient, and willing to go that extra step to make things easier. On Newhall Avenue and Carl Court, or plan your party online at avparty.com.
It's time for your special event. Kelly's Wedding Garden is your perfect spot. Kelly's has transformed weddings, anniversaries, company parties in the Santa Clarita Valley for decades. They have it all. Delicious food, a beautiful setting, plenty of room, and a team of professionals that can handle it all. Kelly's Wedding Garden, just off the golf course in Friendly Valley. Weddings, bridal showers, bar mitzvahs, company parties, anniversaries, class reunions. Kelly's Wedding Garden is your Santa Clarita oasis for outstanding, memorable events. Discover how you can transform your event at kellysweddinggarden.com. That's kellysweddinggarden.com.
KHTS, your hometown station.
Hey, friends, welcome back. You are right here at KHTS, your hometown station. I am Sharon Brubaker with my co-host Sandi Atmore. This was a fun first segment, huh?
It was. It was. I love that we're talking about this. I love that we're talking about grief and the holidays.
Yes, exactly.
It needs to be talked about a lot more.
Yes. So you are listening to the Grief Recovery Hour. I forgot to say that, so I'm going to throw it in. Hey, guys, we're Facebook Live. So if you want to go on the Facebook, Sandi and I will definitely help you with ideas and plans for the holiday.
Absolutely.
Or if you just need somebody to talk to over that time, sometimes you just need to talk about it.
Yes.
You just need to talk it through. I sat with a young girl the other day, and we just talked through, wasn't a grieving experience. It was paying rent and living in her new household. But when we were done, she looked at me and she said, "Oh my gosh, that helps so much."
Yes.
Having someone listen to you and feeling heard is huge, isn't it?
It's really huge. And again, that speaks to what happens during this time of year.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to be happy, then there's no room to talk about things that feel hard or
Right.
difficult or challenging, or how do I plan this, or just to talk through the stresses I'm feeling and all that, all those things. I think people feel like they don't have a place or space to
Exactly.
talk things through. And you feel so much different when you talk things through.
And exactly, 100%. And I want to send that energy out too. If something is weighing heavy on you,
Yeah.
find somebody and talk to them about it, because just getting it out, we know for a fact that grievers need to talk.
Yes.
They really need to talk, and they need to be listened to and heard with respect.
Yes.
And it's okay to say, "I'm lonely. I'm sad.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get through these holidays. I don't know how I'm going to do it." Before the break, I promised I was going to share our story about Austin and Christmas Eve, our very first Christmas Eve together. It wasn't as fun as the Nerf war, but Erica decided she wasn't going into Christmas without all of us being there. And there's a total of 5 kids in my family, plus my parents. She called each and every one of us separately. And this is part of what I said. You got to let people know what you want or what you need.
Yes.
So she called each and every one of us and said, "I'm not waking up on Christmas Day if you're not here with me, because I'm not going to do this by myself." My sister Erica had lost her son. He was 10 years old. He drowned in June, and this was now Christmas. And she said, the hardest thing I'm going to have to do is wake up on Christmas Day, and I'm not going to do it if you guys are not here. So we all went over, which was really cool. And then my oldest daughter, decided it'd be fun if we all got ugly pajamas. So we all got ugly pajamas, and we sat around, and Santa came by, and we hung out, and we ate, but we all slept there that night, and we woke up the next morning together as a family, and it is now a tradition that we do every year for Christmas Eve.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
Yes, very cool.
And so, yes, and you know what? It was tough. And we all cried at different parts on Christmas morning. Some of us even started on Christmas Eve. But we were there to hold each other up, and we changed up what we normally do. And that made the difference, and we were together.
I love that you all came together as a community, that you were there for each other. It was okay to be sad.
Yes.
It was okay to express that
Yeah.
and to do it together.
Yes, for sure.
I think there's a misconception out there, and I feel like it happens a lot during this time of year, that if I'm crying, I'm grieving.
Yeah.
The truth is that if I'm isolated and alone and I'm crying, that's crying, but that's not grieving. Grieving only happens in community. And that's, I think, another reason why the holidays can be so challenging, is because if I'm supposed to be happy, then if I'm sad, I'm going to do it by myself. But then if I do it by myself, I actually feel worse. We don't feel better when we isolate and we're just alone with our sad feelings. That actually doesn't help us to feel better.
Right.
We've got to talk to someone, like Sharon was saying.
It's almost like you have to do the thing that seems unnatural at that
Yes,
point.
yes.
You really have to go through doing the thing that seems unnatural, which is be around your community,
Yes.
talk about it, and get it out.
Yes.
One of the things I like to share with my clients quite often is sometimes something as simple as buying a new ornament or buying an ornament. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but I'll have a lot of clients that'll buy the clear globes, that are just clear, and they'll write letters to their loved one and put it in there and hang it on the tree.
I love that.
I have a client, and she does for 3 years. She's been doing that, and she dates them, and she puts it on the tree, and it's to her husband who passed away, and she really just writes him a letter every year, and she hangs that on the tree. I'm not saying that doing that is going to make all of your pain go away.
Of course.
That's not what we're saying.
No.
What I'm saying is that if you don't do something if you don't have a plan and the holiday just comes up on you, or that birthday or that special day just shows up, it's going to be so much more painful to get through than if you hadn't come up with your self-care plan.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Because all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? How did I just get here? How did I just get to this day? One of the things that you and I were talking about during the break is that we could take a special photo for the family that day. Excuse me. Like everyone get together and we mark that day with a family photo.
Right.
On the very first year that Austin had passed away, Erica, every year, at that point, they would go to the mall on Christmas Eve and get their photo taken. She still went that year and got their photo taken and made sure that we all got a copy of the picture. It was still very important to her, even though Austin wasn't going to be in that photo. So that's kind of cool. You could even get the family together and take the photo in the house. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And post it.
Yes.
Let everyone know. See you all together. That's kind of cool. Sometimes I have clients that will pull out photo albums and go through the photo albums, right? These are all self-care. These are things that you do for yourself. We've even talked about clients just going around the table and saying what they were thankful for the person that's not there.
Yeah.
Or even if you're going into a situation where it's less than joyful with that family, and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through this? That might be a great idea to bring to the family. Hey, let's all go around the table and say something we're thankful for, which really puts that gratitude out there, right?
Yes.
Gets everybody thinking in a different way, and maybe not having them fight and argue and scream and,
So true. Yeah, it's so true. I think what's so important, what you were saying even about the pictures or going around the table, I feel like what we're really wanting to communicate is that self-care is so individual.
Yes.
And self-care doesn't mean that I'm running away from the sad feelings. It doesn't always mean that. It may mean that, like we're saying, I'm sitting with somebody and I'm expressing how I feel, or I'm remembering something and I'm feeling sad and I'm, crying in that moment. That might be part of self-care.
Right.
But it is very individualized.
Yes.
It's what is helpful for the individual person.
Right, exactly. It's so much different than, I feel like we're repeating the same thing, but there's so many times that clients get to this point and they didn't realize they were going to feel this way.
I know.
They didn't know that they were going to come up to the holidays and absolutely feel this way. Or I was able to get through this one day, Now I just have to get through the next 2. You know what I mean? What happens, I think, a lot to me was the clients are like, I forgot it was his birthday. I didn't even think about it. And they wake up and it's either their anniversary or their birthday. And then they're smack dab in the center of it.
Yes.
Without a plan.
Yes.
Without something to do. We know for a fact that grief is normal and natural. And it's normal and natural to grieve also at this time of year.
It really is.
It is normal and natural to grieve. It's just that no one has even showed us or taught us how to do it.
Yeah.
No. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, and I was just going to say, and what happens, of course, during the holidays is that as a society, we don't a lot of times even make it okay to grieve this time of year.
Yeah.
We don't make it okay. Somehow we can be happy, but we're not supposed to be sad.
I want to talk about the day after.
Yeah.
How many times have you had clients, they made it through the day, but then the day after, it's almost like they prepared, they made their plan, they set themselves up, and they got through the day, and that very next day, like the Friday after Thanksgiving, they fall apart.
Oh, yeah. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
I do, in a couple of different ways. So you might have somebody that, let's say, has grown up in a home where there was abuse, or, you know, they're just grieving that abuse, and they are around those people. And so they put on a face.
Yes.
And they act like everything's okay.
Yeah.
Pretending a lot of times, it actually isn't healthy, because what I find is that, like you're saying, that next day, because maybe they didn't think about, oh, I should maybe talk to somebody the next day, or I should do something, you know, to help me. They're completely wrecked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely wrecked. I think that can happen too.
This is huge. It's really huge, because sometimes we can get through the event or the special occasion and not realize that it's going to come up the next day. And it is true, like what you said, they put on that happy face, which means it's also very important what we show to our children.
Oh, that's so huge.
Yes, what we're showing to our children and how they're getting through the day, how they're getting through the event. I think this is what I tell a lot of clients. You tell me if you do something different, but I always tell them to discuss with the children.
Oh, most definitely.
Be open with them. Discuss with them what the day's going to be like. Also consider their feelings.
Yes.
They may really want to go see the lights because they always went to see the lights with Grandma and Grandpa. That may be really important to them. Allow them to share what's important to them and discuss it, and you be open to hearing it.
I love that we're talking about this, because, again, I feel like as parents, you know, we so want our children to be okay, and we don't like to see them hurting. And so a lot of times I think the way that as parents we can deal with our children, especially around these kinds of occasions, is we'll just make it happy. Let's make it happy for the kids. They know.
Yeah.
They know something's off. They may not be able to articulate it, but they know something's off, and they're feeling things too.
Yeah.
And I find that the children who had parents that would meet them where they are, give them space to have feelings, actually express their feelings with them. You know, the parent saying, you know, I'm feeling sad today. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
Those children actually do much better.
Yeah.
Because children actually do better with honesty.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's
right?
true. Yeah.
Hey, there we go. You can't be strong enough for them.
No.
You cannot be strong enough for them and think that you're going to push them through this. And what I mean by that is sometimes we'll need to shed those tears in front of them. We'll need to allow them in to the grieving process. Again, our community, take a hug from them, share from them. We know for a fact, and we need to acknowledge that a lot of children are going to be grieving at this time of year.
Oh, most definitely.
Their hearts are going to be broken. Their little puppies may be gone. Their little buddies may be gone. They maybe have moved to a new neighborhood or to a new school and left all their friends behind. Acknowledge what they're going through. Acknowledge what they're feeling. Talk about it. You, as the parent, be their safe place to talk. What about if Grandma or Grandpa's not here for this holiday? Picking out an ornament for them might be really cool. Doing a donation in Grandma or Grandpa's name might be really cool. Allowing them to write a letter to Grandma or Grandpa might be really cool. Or letting the kids create a new tradition.
Right. But in all of these scenarios, the child's feelings are being acknowledged.
Yes.
Because we do better with that. I mean,
Yeah.
my son, he's not little. He's a little older, but he was there when my dog died. So he's actually the one that found him. I was away at a conference, so he found him, and he was attached to him.
Yeah.
And it was so great because we got to have lots of conversations about the dog.
Yeah.
And we got to grieve that together.
Yeah.
And he got to be part of the memorial.
Yeah.
And we've talked about, we're going into the holidays. It's weird that his name's Pee-wee. Little Pee-wee isn't here.
Right.
It's weird that, he's not going to be, he used to sleep under the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Like that was his spot. And so, it's odd that he's not there.
Yeah.
But we get to talk about that and acknowledge that this feels really different. And, we can do something to even honor Pee-wee on that day.
Right.
But instead of avoiding it or pretending like everything's fine, it feels so much better that we
Right.
talk about it.
Right.
And it's been really good for him. Really good.
One of the things that I did, Sandi, after Austin died was I didn't want the girls, my daughters at the time were 17 and 19, and I didn't want them to see me cry. And so I would grieve alone. And I can honestly tell you that grieving alone was not something that I was taught, but I think I witnessed it because I never saw my parents grieve. I never saw them cry. And so what I did was I would go in the shower every morning and I would bawl my eyes out. And I knew the moment I turned that shower off that I had to come out and be strong for them. And in actuality, I caused their grief to go even longer and even my own because I wasn't dealing with it. I was not acknowledging it. I wasn't sitting them down. Some of the things that we should have done that I didn't know was literally sit down and have a family meeting and talk about, hey, here's what's going on. Here's how I'm feeling. How are you feeling? I even said to them at one point, you guys stop that crying. I don't want Erica to see that. We're going to upset her, my sister, and the mother of Austin. And how much different would it have been if I sat and had the conversation with them, or we came up with the plan together as how we were going to approach the holidays together and honor Austin in our heart and in our minds. You know what I mean?
Totally.
What a difference that would have made.
Yes. But you're articulating what happens in so many families, and that's why you do this show, and that's why I get to be a part of it once a month, is because we're trying to educate people on grief, and we're passionate about this topic because there's not nearly enough good information about grief out there. And if there was, people's lives would be different.
Yeah.
These are life-changing things that we're talking about. This is not just, I'll feel a little more comfortable. What we're talking about changes lives. And so, what Sharon is saying, that she wasn't taught to grieve. She didn't have a model. I'm sure nobody in your home said, go grieve alone. I mean, nobody said that to me either.
No.
But it was, like you said, it was modeled.
Right.
It was modeled. We don't talk about our feelings. I guess if I feel something, I just go over here by myself.
Right.
But it was never articulated.
Right.
But that is what was passed down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can pinpoint moments where I saw my parents being strong.
Yes.
And so that was the exact thing that I did. I saw my parents when I was 14 years old be strong when I had an aunt who passed away. And so when it was my turn to be the aunt, I did the exact same thing. And I am so blessed that we broke the cycle, that we have stopped it, that I have absolutely have learned how to grieve, that I've absolutely been able to help my daughters get through that process and understand what grieving is, and know now that they can talk about it and that they're free to share everything that they need to say. You are right. Hundreds of thousands of households are going to be facing something very similar to this with their kids. We're giving you all permission, guys. Have this conversation with your children. Set them up for victory. Let them set the table even. Let them just set the table. Let them talk about it. Let them make a card.
Yeah.
Let them come up with a new tradition. How different would that be if we acknowledged where they were, told them the truth, honored their decisions, and really went at it that way?
It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Because as you know, children will tend to act out if they're not grieving.
Yeah.
So the way that they may respond to a loss if their feelings are not acknowledged, if they're not given a model, and children that has to be modeled for them. If grieving isn't modeled for them, expression isn't modeled, and then a lot of times, you have a family who's maybe gone through a significant loss, and let's say there are young children, and a lot of times what will happen is then those children will have behavior issues, and they're angry and they're defiant, and then they're receiving a lot of correction because they're acting out when the problem is grief.
Yeah. Don't look at your children and tell them to be strong.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that it's going to be okay and with time. Don't tell them, we'll get through this, Really have the conversation.
Yes.
Don't ask them, just straight out ask them how they're doing, because they're going to tell you, fine, I'm fine. Really share from your heart. Share your own experience. Talk about how your heart is broken about going into the holiday or having that birthday party or whatever you have to do, and give them the safe place to come back to you and talk and share. One of the things I do with my nephew is I just turn the radio off in my car and I would just start talking about moments that I had with Austin and what it was like. And in just a very short time, he started sharing his own stories, right? My girls started sharing their own stories, and they were like, this is a safe place for me to talk, which is really cool. We know for a fact that even small children between the ages of 4 and 7 can get this figured out so quickly for themselves.
Yes.
But they are looking to you to guide and direct them. Hey, my friends, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some great things that are going on in the community and give you some more energy for the holidays. We'll see you right back here after the break. Thank you.
Life's not meant to feel complacent. It's meant to make you feel alive. The youth ministry at the Church on the Way Santa Clarita believes that students can belong to the group where we will help them believe they have a purpose in Christ and become all that He has created them to be. We want to see God's power come alive in our generation. We love meeting new people, so come hang out with us. Doors open at 6 p.m. and service starts at 7 every Wednesday night. For more information about the Church on the Way Santa Clarita, including service times and what's happening through the end of the year, visit tcotwsc.org.
Do you ever listen, but you're not really paying attention? Sort of like what you're doing to me right now. This is Alex Urbina, your advanced life coach specialist. One of the most frequent questions I hear is, what is a life coach? Well, tune in every Friday at noon to learn the value of having a coach and listen to a live coaching session on the radio. Right here on your hometown station, KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
This is a Rita's Daybreak. There's a huge crowd at Rita's. With so many amazing flavors, every day's a treat. Let's see what folks are celebrating.
I lost my first tooth. No more training wheels. My dog photo got 37 likes.
3 kids, 3 activities, 0 meltdowns. There you have it. Layer it, blend it, or drink it with Italian ice and creamy custard. So many reasons to celebrate at Rita's. This has been a Rita's Daybreak.
Be cool, eat your Rita's.
Are you ready for some football? Consumers Furniture is. Stop by Consumers Furniture today and check out their huge selection of Power Motion furniture. They have the largest selection of reclining sectionals, sofas, love seats, and recliners in the Santa Clarita Valley. Fabric or leather, Consumers has the right piece at the right price to make your home ready for all the big games. Need it for this Saturday or Sunday? No problem. Consumers has same day or next day delivery on most items. Consumers Furniture, located in the Center Point Shopping Center, right below Sam's Club and Walmart.
Hey there, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. Showers are expected later today, continuing through Thursday night. Today's highs in the mid-60s, but even cooler tomorrow. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, go to hometownstation.com or find us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KHTS Radio.
Your hometown station.
Hey guys, welcome back, friends. You are listening to the Grief Recovery Hour right here at KHTS. I'm Sharon Brubaker, Advanced Certified Grief Recovery Specialist, with my co-host Sandi Atmore, Advanced Certified Grief Recovery Specialist. What a fun topic we've been having.
Absolutely.
Heavy, but fun.
Important.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very important.
I love that during the break, Shane was sharing something with us. I loved
Sharon,
it.
hello.
Yeah. Hey, Shane. So you were sharing about how we were talking about kids and kids talking to their parents, right?
Right.
And you were sharing how parents need to listen.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that's really important is that when you do ask your kids how they're feeling, how they're doing, don't have something in mind, don't have a response already planned out or sort of an objective. Just ask how they're doing. See how they respond. See what their feelings are.
Yeah.
You don't have to have something prepared. So just a little bit more of an open-minded listening style instead of, hey, I have to listen, so I guess I'll ask, but I really just want to tell you something.
And don't change their mind. Don't if you don't like what they've said or their idea, try not to change their mind. That was something you shared that I thought that was powerful.
Really good.
Yeah, that was really cool input. You had another suggestion. You guys used to do something in your family. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, a blessing box.
Yeah.
So we'd keep it. It was just, my mom made it, just a regular box. It had a hole cut in it. It was wrapped in this red paper, just a Sharpie written on it, blessing box. And throughout the year, we would write on little Post-it notes, little note cards, whatever it was, blessings, things that we were thankful for, little things in the day, big trips that would go on throughout the year. And on Thanksgiving Day, we would open up the blessing box and read them aloud. We'd all sit in a circle, have a great time, sort of recount the memories and all the things that we were thankful for.
That is really cool.
That's
really cool.
I like that.
That's a great idea.
Yes, I love it.
And that's a new tradition that somebody could set up in their family. Shane, thank you for sharing those.
Yeah,
those are really great.
Absolutely.
So you have something coming up.
Yes.
An online training.
Yes. So I do a grief and loss holiday talk every year. And so this year I'm going to do it online. So it'll stream on my Facebook page. And it's going to be next week. Most likely it's going to be on Wednesday. But I'll have the information up with the date and time and all those things.
Perfect. That's really cool. So people can get more of what they've learned today.
Yes.
Plus they'll be able to chime in with some questions, which will be great, right? They'll be able to ask some questions on that. That's going to be really great.
It'll be live. They can ask questions. And there'll be some tangible tools to walk through the holiday season with.
Oh, that's great. That's so great. So you'll drop the information in the Facebook Live we have here. Guys, if we have any questions in the Facebook Live, Sandi and I will definitely answer them. We're going to put our information in there. I think, what is your final thought for everyone that's listened in today as far as the holiday goes? What's the jewel you can leave them with?
I feel like there's so many clients that I sit with that are going through so many different things. And I feel like the one thing that I say to them is, be okay with not being okay. Like, it's okay to not be okay.
Wow.
And I feel like for many people during the holiday season, that's really what they need to hear. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not feel okay.
Yeah.
Let that be okay.
Wow. Sometimes they really just need to hear that.
Yes.
I want to leave you with this thought that grief is normal and natural, but we've never been taught how to do it properly.
Yeah.
And that's how Sandi and I got our careers, is because we literally sit with people and help them by just coming up with ideas like all three of us did today, throwing some ideas out here, letting you know that it's okay, and walking with you as a guide through the process of grieving. I want to say, Happy holidays to everyone.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you for allowing us to be here, sit with you, and then guide you through this so precious journey at this time.
Oh, most definitely.
How awesome is that? My name is Sharon Brubaker. I can be found at sharon@sharonbrubaker.com. That's actually my email, or sharonbrubaker.com. And you are at
griefunchained.com.
And we'd be honored to sit, talk to you at any time. We'll see you guys next Wednesday at 1 o'clock for the Grief Recovery Hour. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.